Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kalita and I'm a sewing educator and the creative director for Seduction by Sim. I have created this channel to help my students with fun and new sewing projects and tutorial. Today we'll be looking at the basic mid-rise high leg underwear and I hope you can follow along and enjoy sewing this cute simple underwear. We will be using a two-way stretch fabric for this project. Check both direction of stretch on your fabric and lay it flat on your cutting table. Position your pattern pieces onto the fabric so that the maximum stretch is across your body. Pin these in place to reduce movement while cutting. You can use a rotary cutter or a tailor scissors for this process. You will need 3 pieces for this project: the front piece, the back piece, and the gusset. Place the gusset wrong side up and fold the top over by 1/4 of an inch. Pin in place. This is to ensure a neat finish on the inside. Sew with a straight stitch. This is the finished gusset. Now let's assemble. Place the front right side up and the back right side down. Align at the seam at the bottom. Take the gusset, turn the right side down, align to the other 2 pieces and pin in place. Make a straight stitch, ensure to backstitch at this process. After sewing, remove your pins and flip the gusset out. Pin the gusset onto the front piece to keep it in place for the next process. Turn your project over so that the wrong side is on the outside. Assemble and align both side seams and pin in place. At this point, you can attach the seams by using a small zigzag stitch. Sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance on both sides. After sewing, do another pass of stitches on the side seams in order to keep it flat. Place underwear flat, right sides up, then flip over to the back. We are going to turn the side seam towards the back and we're going to do a small row of zigzag stitch close to the original stitch line. This will help to keep the seam allowance flat and looking neat on the inside. This is what it should look like. Now trim the excess and that completes your side seam. Repeat for the other side. This is what it looks like on the right side. It's time for the final process. We will be attaching the elastic on the waistline and the legs, and we will be using a 10 mm picot lingerie elastic. For each opening, we will be sewing on the right side. So place the right side of your garment up, place the elastic onto the edge, and ensure that the picot is facing inwards. Ensure to use zigzag stitches for this process. After attaching the elastic onto the fabric, before sewing, apply a little tension onto the elastic because the elastic tends to stretch out after sewing. A little tension on the elastic will help keep the garment in shape. Do not put too much tension on the elastic because the fabric will get all crinkled up. After reaching the starting point, overlap your elastic after cutting out the excess on the starting point. Overlap the elastic by 1/4 of an inch and back stitch just to secure. At this point, for the final passes of zigzag stitches to complete the elastics, we're going to flip the garment wrong sides up, trim all the excess fabric that is going to reduce the bulk below the elastic, and we're going to fold the edge over so that the wrong side of the elastic is all the way up. Then you're going to use a 3-step zigzag stitch, or you can continue to use the current zigzag stitches that you have been using, and we're going to stitch all the way around once again so that the picot of the elastic will be on the right side of your garment. Repeat this step for the 2 leg openings and the waistline. It is recommended to use zigzag stitching when working with knits so that the stitches does not burst when wearing or stretching. Let's take a closer look of flipping the elastic and positioning for stitching. The picot is on the outer side, and here I'm selecting my 3-step zigzag stitches. Well done! This is what the finished garment should look like. Happy sewing!